Hiya, my name is Pete. Today I'm going to show you how to play Conrad by Ben Howard. Now there's already a good tutorial on the internet by Rafi Z for how to play Conrad, and that tutorial is very true to sort of exactly the way that Ben plays it. Now when I tried to play it like that, I found I had problems with string breakage because the tuning that Ben uses involves tuning the G string up to an A, and that often seemed to snap. So I've kept the same tuning, but I've reworked the order of where the tuning appears with the strings that I will go through. You still get the same Conrad sound. I may have put a few extra notes in because just for the way I play it, I felt that to have sort of running semiquavers all the way through created more fluidity with the playing, and sort of a greater density of sound when you're playing it with just one guitar, as opposed to Ben playing it in a band setup. So the tab is obviously going to reflect that, and so it won't completely match what Rafi's done. This is slightly different, but if you like the sound of the way I play it, and I'm also going to go through how I got that sort of tone with a Strat guitar, and I'll also plug in my Schecter towards the end as well. It has similar pickups to a Les Paul, and so I might get a little bit closer to that Conrad sound. We'll have a play, we'll see what happens. Okay, so the tuning first of all then, without your capo, and without any echo, it's first of all your sixth string is a D, and then your fifth string is an A, fourth string is a C, and then this is where I changed what Ben did. He has them tuned to A, G, D, and I tuned it to G, A, D. So your G string is still a G, second string's an A, and then top string's a D. You then want to capo on the 9th fret, covering 5 strings, not the 6th string, on the 9th fret, and then when you check on a chromatic tuner, then you should get D, F sharp, A, E, F sharp, and then a B at the top there. Okay, so without the echoes, first of all, when the echo pedal's turned on, there's quite a lot of extra notes that fill in some of the gaps, and to be honest, you won't really notice the gaps so much with the way I've tabbed this, because there's running semiquavers throughout. So if you put your ring finger on the 14th fret, all numbers on the tab, by the way, are related to the nut. So 14th fret is 14th above the nut, not 14th above the capo. Whenever I do a partial capo, Guitar Pro gets a bit confused, and it seems to prefer to give the tablature relative to the nut. So 14th fret above the nut on the first string, and have your index finger ready on the 11th fret above the nut. And I'm using strings 4, 3 and 1 here with thumb, index and ring finger on my right hand. And I'm playing 4, 3, 1. Same again, 4, 3, 1. But take your ring finger off on the left hand, down to the 11th fret. Same again, open, 4, 3, 1. And again. And then again. Hammer onto the 11th fret. So that's the first bar. Second bar is exactly the same. And then as we come into the third bar, it's a similar pattern, but now I'm using strings 6, 4 and 3, and I'm covering the 11th fret on the third string, using my thumb, index and middle, and I'm plucking 6, 4, 3, and then 6, 4, 3, but I've now put my ring finger on the 14th fret above the nut on the third string, like that. And then I'm going to put my middle finger on the 13th fret on the 4th string, and for the second half of that 3rd bar I'm plucking 6 5 4. So 6 5 4, 6 5 4, 6 5 4 5. So that 3rd bar all the way through then. And then into the 4th bar. The first half of the 4th bar is the same as the first half of the 3rd bar. So again, 6 5 4 on to 11 on the 3rd string. 6 5 4 to 14. And then 6 5. Did I say 6 5 4? 6 4 3. And then 6 5 4 to 13. And again. And then the 3rd time. 6 5 13 11 open. So there's 2 pull-offs in sequence there on the 4th string. Like that. 4th bar all the way through then is like this. And then to come out of the 4th bar and back round into the sequence for the 5th bar, what actually happens when you do the pull-off at the end of the 4th bar, it looks like this. You're going to hammer onto the 12th fret on the 5th string as you pluck it with your thumb, and at the start of the 5th bar you're basically plucking 12th fret on string 5, open 3rd string, and then 14th fret, use your little finger. And that's probably the most complicated bit of that sort of flowing sequence, is to come out of that 4th bar and into the 5th bar like this. And then as you go through the 5th bar, the next time you're now going to start on the 4th string for the second run of 3 notes. 4, 3, and then the 1st string on 11, and then it's back to normal. So let's just come out of that 4th bar into the 5th bar. So all the way through the 4th, all the way through the 5th. And then the 6th bar, this is where we start to see a bit of variation in that sort of top end tune. So on the 6th bar you're playing 4 3 1 to 14, 4 3 1 through the 11th fret, and now I'm playing 4 3 open, hammer to the 11th. So that's 4 3 1 hammer to the 11th, and then 4 3 11th to open, and then play 3rd, 2nd, just to finish that bar. So bar 6 we've got and then the sequence of the 7th and 8th bars is exactly the same as bars 3 and 4. So again we've got again around with that middle finger onto the 12th fret, 5th string, little finger on the 14th fret there, and again 9th bar is the same as the 1st. No, it's not. 9th bar is the same as the 5th. So and then the start of the 10th bar again. 14 to 11, and then open 4, open 3, pluck the 1st string and slide from 14 to 16. And then 4th, 3rd, second string from 16 to 14, and then open third, open second. So let's play that 10th bar all the way through slowly. One more time. And then again drop down to this is the same as the last two times you've heard it. And then I think for the fourth time I just did the same as the first two bars. Again, 15th bar and into 16. So that's a little rundown before you go into the sort of the lower chorus shapes. So bar 16 then I'm playing 6, 4, 3 on 11, 6, 4, 3 on 14, and then 6, 5, 4 to the 13th. 6, 5, 4 to 11, and then 6, 5, 4 open, and then the 5th string open just to finish. So we've got and that takes you into the chorus shapes, which is basically 2 chords. I just need to adjust the camera now so you can see what my left hand's doing. Give me a sec. I got a little bit wide and out a little bit like this. Can we see? Yes, we can. Okay, so up to the 17th bar now, you basically use your index finger and hold the 6th string on the 2nd fret, and I pluck the 6th string twice with my thumb, and then I'm strumming down the other strings. And then in the last beat of the bar, I'd hammer from 2 to 4, like that. And then, so I'm hammering on with my ring finger there. And then the 6th string open twice. And there's all sorts of variations in the way you can play these 2 chords. Because basically it goes around like this. It doesn't really change much from that, it's just those 2 chords. So what I've done on the tab is I've given you about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different sort of variations that you can mix up as you choose. Ben sort of mixes it up quite a lot in the song when he's using the different shapes. There's 1 or 2 distinctive little bits that you'll pick out and notice when I go through them. So if I just go through what I've tabbed, that'll make more sense, won't it? Right, so 17th bar then, 6th string, 2nd fret, 2 of those, strum, hammer to the 4th, open 6th string, and I'm holding down the 12th fret, 5th string there, middle finger, and then I'm strumming again and pulling to open, so like that. Back down to the 2nd fret, hammer on again, again I'm holding down the 12th fret, and then I'm going to take the 12th fret off but hammer onto the 11th on the 4th string like that. So this is bar 20. And then just for a bit of variation here, rather than being on the 2nd fret down here, I came up to the 14th fret, which is an octave up, and I'm holding down 14th fret 6th string with my ring finger and 11th fret index finger on the 5th string, and I'm strumming those 2 together just like that. And then I'm sliding from the 14th to the 16th on the 6th fret, on the 6th string, like that. And then open 6th string and hold down the 12th fret again on the 5th string. So 21 to 22 then you've got this. to open with the 12th fret to open on the 5th string, like that. And then this is a bit you'll probably pick out. 2, 4, open. So this is bar 34, and after you've played your 2 open notes on the 6th string, I'm going to hold down the 14th fret on the 3rd string, but with my index finger ready on the 11th fret, also on the 3rd string. And I'm strumming and concentrating on the 2nd, 3rd and 4th strings. So now on the tab, I've tabbed it like this. And that's because when you put the echo on, the echo fills in some of the gaps. So look at the strumming hand, okay? Thumb, thumb, down, 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 down. And then 14, 11, open. Pull off from 14 to 11 to open. And then back to the 25th bar. Did I say 34th? Oh, I'm going to need some glasses. Right, so 25th bar then, again, 2nd fret, hammer, 2, 4, open, open, and then I just did a little chord shape with the 16th fret on the 1st string and the 14th fret on the 3rd string, and I used the same sort of strumming pattern that I used in the 24th bar, so it sounds like this. And then onto the 14th fret again. So 14, 14, and then 11th fret with that index finger on the 5th string. 14 to 16, and then just the 12th fret on the 5th string being held on the index finger there. That's the end of bar 20, no, that is bar 28. And then that sets you up to go back into when you want to finish, when you've been around however many repeats of the verse and the chorus, so you just do the rundown, 12th fret on the 5th string, and give it a bit of wobble. Okay, right. So that's the sort of the mechanics of how to play the main sort of riffs and sounds from Conrad, as I see it working for me when I play it, with the tuning that I think is least expensive in terms of replacing strings. What I'm going to do now is turn on the echo and just look a little bit at the echo, and then I think we'll have a little bit of a play with the sound settings and see if we can't just give it a little bit more grit and a little bit more authenticity. So the echo settings then. Basically, you need your echo to be repeating at double the beat speed. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the beat speed will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can't, obviously when you're learning this, you're not going to put it at that kind of speed. So I've slowed this down quite a bit now, and this is really just to accentuate the whole idea of practice at a slower speed. So our beat speed then, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you get the idea. Anyway, the speed, I think I've put at the start of the tab, I've got it down as being about 72 beats a minute. So if you've got a programmable delay that hasn't got tap tempo, then work with 72 beats a minute, and work out your delay from there. Right, so anyway, the kind of delay settings I've used then, the speed, that's the sort of the speed, and I've also tweaked the delay, so I've got an equal balance of recurring delays as opposed to the strength of the first note. So I mean this would be a very biased first note, and then the echoes are considerably quieter, or I can also tweak it the other way. So the delay has actually got more kick to that second note than the first note. Anyway, I've got it at the 12 o'clock position for that setting. And then I've got the bite control, which I think that's how much each successive delay is in terms of strength of the previous one. So more bite means there's a higher percentage of each note is retained in the subsequent delay. If I turn that bite control down, it loses a lot of the sort of the strength of the next note. And then the feedback is sort of how long the delay tail is. So again, I could have it like this, so it very rapidly dies out, or I could have it like this. We'll be here all day. So again, I went for sort of about three fairly solid echoes. It's a bit more than 3, isn't it? The first 3 are pretty strong, and after that it kind of fizzles out a bit. I've also got reverb running here as well. This is without the reverb. And I've got it currently on the Hall of Fame. It's on a plate setting, and the FX and the decay are on about 12 o'clock. But I have backed the tone off a little bit. Now, in terms of pickup selection for this, originally somebody commented on a video and said, can you get the Conrad sound on a Strat? So this is my cheap and cheerful vintage Strat, which I think cost me 200 quid off Amazon. And then I set it up myself, and got to be honest, it's really nice to play. The neck's not too chunky, the frets are nice and good sized fret wire. It's a lovely neck. The pickup sounds are good. The only thing that's a bit strange is there's a little bit of buzz. So I think there's a bad earth somewhere. Maybe it needs a little bit of insulation, or I don't know if this scratch plate's pushing up against the trem, and because if I touch one of these screws on the selector switch, I can lose the buzz, and I need to investigate that. But other than that, it's got good sound. So I've selected the first pickup position would be just the neck pickup. And I thought that was just a little bit too much neck sound for the Conrad sound. And if I went down to the other end of the spectrum at the humbucker end, well, the single coil at the bridge end, it's a bit too quacky and nasal. So I just kind of experimented and eventually found that the second pickup position, which I think is a blend of these two, gave me the sound I wanted. Too much tone, it's too much attack there, but if I do it right down, sounds like I'm playing from under the duvet. That's not good. So I set it on about 4, I think, 4 or 5 on the tone. And then I did a little bit of EQ tweaking with the MXR pedal, and there's a tone control on the delay pedal as well. That's at 12 o'clock. And there's also tone control on the reverb pedal, and that's at about 10 o'clock. There's also a reverb on the amp. That's turned off completely because it was just getting way too complicated. So what I'm going to do now is just switch channels to the gain channel on the amp and just give it a little bit of grit and see what you think of that. So bear with me. So the gain on a scale of 0 to 10 is only on about 2 here, but you will hear the difference, I think. I think the most noticeable difference is on these notes here. Just there. So just for the last little bit of this, I'm going to switch over to my Schecter, and we'll just have a listen to the sound I can get out of that on this. Right, so this is my Schecter C1 Classic. It has a solid mahogany body with a through neck, and the markings on the fretboard, it's got lovely inlays, but it's not great for teaching you how to play because you can't see the markers as easily for the fret positioning. So I didn't use it to teach you for that reason, but it does sound good, I think. Anyway, the pickups are more like a Les Paul, and this is the kind of sound I managed to get using this. Boys and their toys, eh? Okay, hopefully that's been useful for you. Let me know if you've enjoyed the video and what you would like to see me working on next. The next thing that I'm looking at the moment, Passenger's just released a rather nice album that's got quite a few good acoustic tunes on, so I've been looking at tabbing some of those and learning some of those, and I've also just hit the next milestone of 2,000 subscribers, which is great, fantastic, thank you very much. Great to see everybody on board with what I'm doing. And I did promise at 1,000 subscribers that I would look at writing some of my own stuff, and here we are at 2,000, and I still haven't pulled my finger out and got on with it yet. So that is also going to be another focus for future things on my channel. So stay tuned and we'll see what the future brings. I'll see you next time. Cheers for now. Bye.